New year, new you. I don't think that's necessarily the best way to go about entering the new year and how you want to make the changes you've been thinking about, how you're going to genuinely level up your life in 2024. Instead of thinking new year, new you, what am I going to change? How about you just think, what is the her I desire? What is the person, me, who am I picturing that I'm going to be in 12 months' time, and how am I going to do daily steps to get there? So I'm going to share 5 tips on how you can level up who you already are. There's no need to become a new you. I have had self-experience in this. I have transformed not only physically, but mentally, and that is the game changer. So as a life coach, I work with women to work on their hormonal health, their gut health, their mindset, and their physical transformations. And I want to help you level up your own life as well with these 5 quick tips to take with you into the new year or even start today. Tip number 1, we're heading straight into your physical transformation because I know that's probably what gets people the most excited because you want to see maybe a physical before and after in the new year. A lot of people set physical goals as their new year resolution. So my tip, if you're going to make a physical goal that you want to set for yourself, I don't think there's any negativity around that. I think it can be a beautiful way to give yourself a lot of vitality and mobility and thriving for in the future. Movement should be about where you want to be in the future. Do you want to be vital enough to chase after your kids? And do you want to look after your health, your bones, all of that? Choose something that you can do consistently. If that means a walk, never underestimate the power of a walk. If you set daily goals on step counts or nothing that's going to really, consume your mind on a certain number, but walking is powerful. Getting your body just moving is the best thing you can do. If the gym is something you consistently stick with 4 times a week, then fantastic, set some new gym goals. If you know you struggle to get to the gym, then set some walking goals. Set a little run once per week. Whatever it is that you can do consistently is going to be the best thing for you. I don't want people setting unrealistic goals that they're going to go run 5 times a week or they're going to go to the gym 6 times a week when it's something they already haven't even just started the small daily habits. Start small, pick something consistently and do it. Tip number 2, we're heading into the mental realm of our wellness wheel. And I want to give this tip because I think it is maybe a hard truth to sit with. But if you can go into the new year with this mindset, I can assure you, you are going to level up your daily life. This is not about in 6 months' time will you feel the benefit. I want you to feel the benefit daily. Thrive daily. I cannot express that enough. We live in a society where we're not thriving daily, and there is a way to do it. So my tip is take responsibility for whatever happens to you. Even if you had no malicious intention and there's bad people in the world that do something to you, the moment you can switch your mindset and take responsibility and say, this happened to me for a reason, whether I think it has or not, I promise when you look back, you'll understand why. You'll understand why God gave this task to you because he knew you could handle it. Nothing comes into your life that you can't handle. Doesn't mean it will be easy. I think that's where people get it so wrong. They think they've been hard done by and they think, why the heck did this happen to me? I used to think like that. I used to think, why is this happening to me? Why does this keep happening to me? And the moment you can say, you know what? I need to change something or I need to take responsibility of why that happened to me, you will only see the positivity change. You'll see stoicism come to real fruition in your life. That's when you get to reap the rewards of what you do daily, how you're going to overcome those challenges because there will always be challenges. But the moment you sit with it and think, why me? Why did this happen to me? That's when you don't make change or you don't get out of the slump. So as hard as it can be within that hard moment, remind yourself that in 6 months' time, you will not be in this moment. You will not be feeling in this much of a rut. But in 6 months' time, if you've continued to take that with you and just think that happened to me, or that's why I'm now not at this goal because I went through this really hardship. We're all going through hardship. Everyone will have that in different formats. It's how you cope through it and how you take responsibility where I think you see the real change. So understanding whether you're spiritually, religious, if you take that the universe has your back or that God gave this to you for a reason, everything happens for a reason, but it's not about thinking, I went through this hard time, that happened to me, that's why I'm now at this low point in my life. No, take responsibility, make the actions daily on how you can overcome it, and don't worry about what anyone else is thinking or what anyone else is doing to you. How are you going to get through it yourself? Tip number 3, I'm moving on to more of the gut health, hormonal health of the wellness wheel, because I think this is so important. And this is my tip. Going into the new year, there's a lot of inflammation, there's a lot of chronic diseases and issues people are having come up for them daily. Our statistics have never been higher. But if you take a much more simpler approach, instead of panicking and thinking, oh my gosh, what food group do I need to cut out? What are all these different kind of foods? Do I need to go gluten-free, dairy-free? All these things that just overcomplicate the process. My tip is, heading into the new year or starting today, make it simple. Go back to what your ancestors did. Just consume more fruit, more meat, more colorful foods, more things that literally look vibrant and they genuinely make you feel vibrant. Nothing artificial, nothing processed. Of course, maybe you'll have your guilty little pleasures here and there. It's not about being entirely strict, but the moment you can just make a simpler approach to your food intake, you will actually be able to pinpoint when something doesn't feel right. Your body will have a much better alarm system. It will be able to tell you, hey, you don't feel so good. I'm going through a discharge process right now. And then if you've been eating a processed diet, a really complicated diet of cutting out a million things because you're trying to narrow down what the issue is, you're still not going to be able to pinpoint what it was that then set off this alarm. So if you keep a really simple approach to your food and just have fun with it, just vibrant, natural sources, as soon as something then flares up, you will be able to most likely pinpoint, okay, I did consume processed food that day, or I tried this new thing in my diet, and that's where you'll be able to say, maybe that's what's setting it off. Keep it simple. That is my biggest tip. There is so much on social media overcomplicating the recipes. Who cares about a recipe? Just throw things you love in terms of that are all natural sources coming from God's work. That's where you'll then feel good, look good, and you will genuinely mentally thrive. You will remove all the brain fog, your inflammation, or if those things do occur, you should be able to pinpoint exactly where it's coming from. So my tip number 3 for your gut health and to feel a lot more good mental clarity and less brain fog is to take a much more simpler approach with what you're putting into your body. Tip number 4, we're heading back to a bit more of our core and a bit more of our mental well-being, but I genuinely think this is what's going to transform your 2024. Authenticity. Authenticity is not replicating someone else that you might be inspired by, and you might admire their transformation or you might admire their confidence, but you're not going to be replicating it. That is the whole thing. Not giving a shit about what other people think is genuinely when you're authentic to yourself. You shouldn't even care because you're being true to yourself. If you're only reflecting positivity and doing things that genuinely make you feel good, and if you have a simple approach like we talked about before, you'll know if your gut is screaming at you anxiety or that something is off. You'll have a lot better gut connection to your brain when you truly be authentic to yourself. Find your feminine archetype. What does it mean to you to be feminine? Not what you see on social media of someone else being in their feminine, thriving through life. You can be inspired, but you need to be authentic to yourself. And when someone asks me, but how do I be authentic? When I worry about what other people think, or if I feel like I need to do this to please someone else, you just have to reflect with yourself and say, are you truly wanting that? Or do you need to take a step back? Do you need to find a new tribe, a new friendship group that generally don't make fun of you for your little quirks because you're being authentic to yourself? You'll be too much for some people, but you'll be just enough for the right people. So you need to see who's within your close proximity and are they helping you level up and stay true to who you are deep in your core. Into the new year, go for your absolute best to just be authentic. Go into the whole new year, into your career, into all the things you desire as your authentic self. And then you'll really see how quick those things actually come to fruition and how quickly you feel alive every day because you're genuinely being true to yourself. Ask yourself, is your anxiety occurring way more than it should be because you're not getting to do the things that you know you would deeply love to do? Tip number 5 is everyone loves to set new monthly habits or new year resolutions, But how you are actually going to stick with that consistently for over 12 months, which is something I genuinely can say, I stick with the same habits daily. Get yourself a habit tracker. Put in the actual core habits that reflect your authentic self and what you're trying to get to, and make them easy. Make them something you can genuinely do daily, or when you miss it, you feel off and you know that, gosh, I'm a bit out of routine, because these are the daily habits I love to do. Your daily habits could be something like a simple approach to your nutrition, doing your consistent movement that we talked about, because then you can do it daily and you have 1 or 2 rest days, but you'll almost feel more alive when you do these daily habits. It should never be too much of a difficult task. Your daily habits should also be a lot simpler and something you can do consistently. So it's not about maybe a new month, a whole new list of habits. It's about daily rituals that you will stick to for 12 months, for the rest of your life. I know that the gym, movement, how I feel my body, to me now, literally just something I need to do daily. I don't even have to think twice about it. I don't have to think twice about, do I need to track? Do I need to know what's in my food? I just know how to do it. It's become second nature. So take this tip number 5 of making your daily habits second nature. Don't overcomplicate them. Make them things that generally reflect what you want to become of your authentic self. No one else's daily habits, not what they do within their lives, but what you think you could do consistently. And make sure they're positive and they are going to be helping you level up to become something you want. Because the moment you don't have purpose in your life is the moment you will start to feel a more depressive flow, more anxiety coming up within your life. But when you have something to wake up to every morning, something that makes you come alive, even if you're a little bit tired, but maybe you're going to make optimal sleep one of your daily habits that you can stick consistently with. These are all little tangible changes that will actually work in order to be thriving daily. Don't wait for a new year. Don't wait for the end of year to see if it worked. Did I hit those goals? You should just know on a daily basis. Are you feeling alive and thriving? Those are my 5 tips. If you work with me one-on-one, my links are always down below, but I am a life coach and I really do specialize in women's gut health, their gut connections, their feminine and masculine energies, which is something we could do a whole nother topic on. But if you feel the pull to work with me, then don't be afraid to reach out. I genuinely have a mission to help everyone thrive daily and not just merely be surviving or not waiting for the New Year's resolutions. Start today or take this with you into the new year and see all the little actions within 1 month's time. See the difference of how alive you could be feeling if you take a simpler approach and if you take on these 5 habits where you are accessing all different parts of the wellness wheel. That's when you will genuinely feel a big shift in your overall vitality. So thank you for watching. Subscribe below, like, all that YouTube stuff. This is Lilybelle Lifts. I try and make informative, fun content. So after you click off this video, feel alive and maybe go try one of these habits today. To love from Lilybelle Lifts.